talking to DTV in this week's edition of Roos Views, and of course joined by senior coach Paul Roos. And Paul, good to chat to you after win. First one for yourself as Melbourne coach and the first one for the year.
Yeah, it's good to be talking to the fans after winning rather than 3 losses. So certainly a really important weekend for us and the footy club.
Yeah. It's been another tough week though, of course, with Jack Tringove. He's going to be missing the rest of the season. Can you sort of talk about that and how that's gone down?
Yeah, I mean, Jack's obviously sort of been struggling. He's had a little bit of soreness, but he's not the sort of guy that's going to sort of whinge and, you're trying to talk about performance, is it injury-based? And so we got a scan about 3 weeks ago and the scan didn't see anything too negative. But like anything else, I think these naviculars can sort of sneak up on you a little bit. So he was really sore and felt that he was really restricted the last couple of weeks. So another one, a CT scan, I think, and it's just shown the crack in the navicular, which obviously it's negative, but in some ways it's positive because you can imagine a young guy that's sort of thinking, how am I not playing this way, and is it injury, is it not? So I think there's some sort of relief there as well for him to say, well, look, I can really get this thing right now, and I can get right for next season. And I think, as negative as it is initially, I think there's some real positivity from Jack to think, well, okay, I can be the footballer I want to be, providing I can get my foot right.
Yeah. What's sort of the plan for him now?
Yeah, well, he'll have an op, I think, sometime today from what I can gather, and get some screws put in, and then, basically his season will be done. But, I mean, when I say that, you'd probably bring him back for the last 2 games, but it's pointless doing that. We really want to get him right. So I think the main thing is then to get a plan, firstly for the foot to heal, and secondly to get a plan in place to make him the best possible player we can be. So come back really healthy pre-season and really work on his game.
Does that mean giving him a bit of a break earlier than perhaps the normal pre-season?
Yeah, probably. We'll talk through that as well. Does he want to go away and have a break initially after the operation? I think there's also an opportunity to get in and do some coaching, with Brad Miller and Brett Allison in the development role as well. So we'll talk through those issues with him. Yeah.
The win, what's it been like around the club, just from, I guess, the coach's point of view and the players?
Yeah, I think when a new coach comes in and, a new game style and a lot of discussions about that and how it works, players need a win to get some confidence and get some belief in that. So, look, we don't think we've been playing that poorly apart from the West Coast game, but it's just getting over the hump. And so clearly, watching the game on the weekend, it was chalk and cheese to our first 3 games. We felt as a coaching group, the effort was very, very good for 120 minutes. We stuck to our structures, we stuck to what we wanted to do, and the great players got a great reward for it. And it just sort of reinforces to them that, if they keep doing those things, they can be really competitive.
And backing it up this week, an important game against the Gold Coast?
Yeah, it is a really important game. I mean, important game to see where the group's at as well. I think we had a good game against Richmond in the NAB Cup. We played pretty well the next week against Geelong, and then it sort of fell apart the following week against the Hawks. So, look, I'm really looking forward to seeing the team play, and hopefully they can play with the effort they did and with the adherence to our game rules that they did on the weekend. And look, at least that we know now that it gives us a chance to win games of football.
The forward line with Frawley and Dunn and Dawes coming back in really worked well. What's the latest with Frawley and Dunn as permanent forwards? Yeah,
look, obviously it's been significantly different. I felt it was a big change even in the Giants game. We had someone to kick to the previous week against the Eagles. There was just no one to go to, and without making excuses, I think we've seen now what a difference it is when you have 2 or 3 guys up there. We certainly were able to go longer and quicker, and we didn't over-possess the ball like we'd done perhaps in the first 2 or 3 weeks. So it was a vastly different game style offensively. Look, I'd love to keep the 3 of them up there, there's no question, because I think they provide us some real structure and certainty going forward, and they're real 3 dangerous players, and obviously a bit of a handful for opposition. So it does make a difference, but I think the main thing for us is getting our defensive processes in place and making sure we're competitive every minute of every game.
Yeah. Gary Ablett's obviously one to watch this week. Does Jonesy get a crack at him, or do you look back at Geordie McKenzie's effort last year?
Yeah, look, I mean, we thought Jones did an outstanding job on Murphy. Every player's different and every week's different. I think it was great for him. He helped the team, and personally, not that I've seen every one of his games, I think it was the best game he's played for the football club. and certainly the most significant, I believe. But this week's a different week. We'll have a look at the team, have a look at what they do well and what we want to do, and certainly you've got to put some attention into Gary. He's a terrific player, but they've also got Prestia and Swallow and O'Meara. Their midfield's start to really develop into an elite midfield group. So it's going to be as much about midfield versus midfield as it will be Gary versus whoever his direct opponent is.
Yeah. A couple of guys in the VFL. Cole Garland played some time in the VFL seconds last week, and also Sam Blees got hurt. Just a bit of an update on those two guys.
Yeah, Cole played probably a late sort of call-up. He wasn't going to play, and then he felt really good after the training, so we played him in the development squad there. I'd say this week he play in the in the KC first team. We'll start to look at his form and his fitness and all those sorts of things. Yeah, Bleasy knocked himself out in about the first 10 minutes, which was a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
So look, the seconds didn't have a great day, so we're really looking more for effort and setting standards and seeing who adhere to really what we want to do and what we want to stand for as a footy club.
Yeah. And just finally, been practising in the shower with your singing, maybe getting the lines right this week? Or?
Well, no one believes me except for the people at Beverly Hills. The Beverly Hills theme song is the same as the Melbourne one, except for 2 lines about middle and late. So I was actually singing the wrong theme song. I guess when you're a kid and you play from about 8 years old to 17, that one's sort of more embedded in my mind than the Demons one. So I'll have to practice the other 2 lines this week.
All right. Let's hope so. Best of luck for this weekend, mate, and look forward to seeing the D's play.
Thanks.
Give it a